Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of How To Video, where we give you tips and tricks on all things video production. In these next few episodes, we're going to cover tips on filming yourself solo. You'll notice I'm definitely not in the office right now. We're all under shelter-in-place orders because of COVID-19, so I'm up here at my cabin, a few hours north of our offices in Brooklyn, and I'm hiding away from the world with my dogs. It's really kind of a perfect time to explain how to do what I'm doing right now, and what so many of us in marketing are having to do, especially while we're socially distancing. Film ourselves solo with no other team members involved. And here's the thing, filming yourself solo is the easiest thing in the world. And look, I'm filming myself, just like that. But filming yourself solo and getting a professional look and feel and a clear, concise message across takes a little know-how. In this episode, we'll cover camera tips to make sure your footage looks and sounds professional. In the next episode, we'll cover how to deliver a script or an outline, including teleprompter techniques. And in the final episode, we'll cover filming a two-person interview or conversation remotely. Let's get started. First, you can film yourself on anything from a phone to a camcorder, providing you use an external boom or lav microphone. We won't get into audio techniques here, but you can watch our previous episodes on those. You'll want to stay away from laptop or desktop cameras for this. They're pretty low quality even compared to a smartphone. This is the quality of an iPhone, and this is the quality of an iMac. You'll need a tripod and maybe lights, though they're not always necessary, and I'm not using them here to show you that they aren't. On any regular shoot, there are 3 steps to locking in your visuals. First, set your composition and lighting. Next, check your focus. And finally, you have what we call last looks, to troubleshoot details like lint on a shirt, a hair out of place, or furniture or props that need adjustment. All these steps require that you look at the scene, and that gets complicated when you are in the scene and the viewfinder's way over there. Let me show you ways to do this with a basic setup, and also with a more professional setup. The first step is to find your composition while you're out of the frame. Just frame up a background that looks nice. For tips on composing for an interview, see our episode on interview lighting. We cover that there. Once that's done, you have to hop in front of the camera. The most basic way to see the scene at this point is to use a camera with an on-camera monitor that flips around toward the subject. On a phone, that's selfie mode. Some point-and-shoot, DSLR, or mirrorless cameras give you this option, and most camcorders allow you to flip the screen around too. Your monitor is going to look pretty small from where you're sitting, but you should be able to see the composition at least well enough to make adjustments to your pan and tilt. Next is focus. The easiest way is to use an autofocus camera. If you don't have that, get yourself a focus dog. Training your dog to pull focus provides a good opportunity to spend some quality time together, working on an activity you can both... Lucy! Okay, on second thought, maybe that's not the best plan. Instead, a good hack is to place something next to you in the frame. You can use anything, really. I typically use an extra light stand with a spring clamp on top. Line it up the same distance from the lens as your eyeball. Then head back behind the camera and focus on that object. For last looks to take care of details, you can either wing it, maybe look at yourself in the mirror to check yourself, or you can roll a quick test and check that on your computer before you commit to filming. For a more advanced setup, you can get your monitor off the camera and as close to you as possible by either using a wired or wireless external monitor. Now you can do proper last looks. Having the monitor near you also makes lighting the scene much easier because you'll see the details of how the light falls on your face and what might need adjusting. And it also allows you to preview your natural movements forward and backward as you speak, to make sure you don't drift in and out of focus. If you're a really animated talker and you see yourself getting fuzzy, you can close down your aperture to compensate. To be honest, I like this technique more than autofocus, because you never know when autofocus might decide to go wild and focus on something in the background. It's less common with facial recognition, but it still happens and it can ruin takes that you may not realize are ruined until you're in the editing room. One way around using an external monitor is to use a smartphone app if your camera supports that. One caveat though is the footage quality usually isn't good enough to pull focus, so try not to use it for that. If you're able to go an extra step, you can use a remote follow focus, sort of like this one. With one of these and a monitor close by, you can control everything from your place in front of the camera. And that's it. You're all set to film yourself as if you had a crew of coworkers involved. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now you have to deliver your message. To find out how to do that, make sure to check out our next episode. Thanks for watching.